The big question is, why did the Fredericton City Police forge a document to convince the internet service provider that they were investigating Charles for crimes of child sexual exploitation, when in fact they were investigating defamatory libel? Was the FPD hoping that by chance that random sexually explicit links or pop-up would have crossed into Charles's browsing history? Anyone who has used the internet have been at times exposed to offensive images that they did not consent to. It's all a game of chance. Is that what the FPD gambled on? Because the burden of proof would have been on Charles to prove that he was not soliciting such sites. Had they been able to find such a connection, the outcome would have been a victory for the FPD. Even though the courts would not have upheld the conviction, Charles would have been found guilty in the courts of public opinion. Bernard Richards clearly explains what the consequences would have been had the police succeeded in making that connection. Drumming up taboo sex conduct is nothing new. When the Republicans wanted Bill Clinton out, the Republicans used his affair with balloon-blowing Monica Lewinsky, Julian Assange for whistleblowing, and lastly, attempting to discredit Charles because he video recorded and published the Fredericton City Police giving a shit-kicking to a patron at a local bar.
My judgment on it and to make recommendations. That's what I did.
One child porn picture and 200,000 pictures, one naked kid in there, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
I don't think we would, no. I think you'd be in a lot more trouble than you were, actually. You ended up, they withdrew the charges. If you had been in possession of child pornography, I would have been one of many to say that's not acceptable. I've worked with too many vulnerable children who have been abused and taken advantage of to have any time for anyone.
And even though it would have been sort of like an illegal search, well, it's still, that's it. Hey, we found child porn.
That would have been a technical issue to be raised in court. You might not have been found guilty.
But public opinion.
Public opinion
done.
would have been
done.
Awful. Yeah, absolutely.
Done.
Yeah, it would have been. You know, even though you're found not guilty on a technicality, if you had been in possession of child porn, in my mind and in the mind of the public, you would have been not a really good person.
How come these cops never don't investigate a little bit more? I hate kids. I can't stand that little move. I mean, I'm so happy I'm not into that shit.
Yeah.
But they would have used it. It would have been an illegal search warrant to get into my. They look at everything. My emails with me and you, my emails with everybody, my contact.
You know, I've talked to university professors. I've talked to in the course of this review, and it was raised with me at one point. I can't remember by who that was now, but that possibly, and sure, it is a possibility that they were trying to get at your internet data in order to catch you at doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And so that this was just an excuse to get some worse stuff on you.
Yeah.
Because they have a you know, a grudge and they don't like you.